So, how's it going, PC Gamers? Bobby here, and joining me is my good buddy Dan, also known as Hardly Dan, and we're here at 4:29 in the AM, exactly, just to discuss a little bit, very quickly, about BioWare and their decision to change or retool, perhaps was the word they used, the ending to Mass Effect 3. So Dan, you've finished Mass Effect 3 already. I haven't got there yet. But let's just start. What were your first thoughts when people first started kind of petitioning BioWare to even change before they even said they would do anything?
Well, I hadn't got to the end of the game when that first started, because obviously, you know, here in the UK we got it a few days later than the guys in the States. And my first thought was, you idiots, you've just rushed through the game. It turns out it's not actually that long.
You've since finished it?
Yeah, I've put in, including the little bit of multiplayer I've played, 44 hours, and that was doing pretty much every single side quest. I don't think I've missed anything. So I have pretty much, yeah, apart from, I haven't taken all 3 endings, I've only just done the first one of the endings so far. But,
yeah. But obviously we're going to remain spoiler free.
Yeah.
But did you think the ending was that bad? Or your ending was that bad? Perhaps you should say.
Here's the thing: you get to a certain point, and it kind of tells you that pretty much there is a bit where it does feel like everything you've done and the choices you made are kind of pointless. But it's, you know, the end of the game is what it is. It's the end of the game. It's taken however many years it was for us to, you know, play them and get to the end of it, and they had to wrap up all those storylines into an ending, and that's what the ending is. And, you know, like it or loathe it, that should be the end of the game. It did finish the storyline. It gave me a conclusion, and surely that's all you should really expect from an ending, a conclusion.
And it's not just the fact that it's however many years they've been making that game. It's kind of from Mass Effect 1, really.
Yeah.
They've been making that storyline. And that's obviously how they decided to end it. Like I said, I haven't got to the ending yet. But first of all, we've spoken about it before with the DLC stuff, and we've spoken about it with a few things lately on the podcast and that. But what the hell is with this massive sense of entitlement, of people kind of dictating to developers all this different stuff? I mean, sure, the consumer has to have some kind of say and some kind of entitlement to some kind of product.
Yeah.
But as we were discussing a little bit before we came on tonight, you don't read a book and then get to the end of the book and then suddenly like decide.
Oh, I didn't like that.
And you don't ever see a movie.
I didn't like the end of Harry Potter. Can you change it?
I mean, how many times have you been to a movie and come up there saying, "Oh, it was a really good film, but the ending sucked," you know? And you don't kind of expect the director to make a new ending.
Sam McGee, the end of Terminator, the end of Transformers sucked.
So then, the fact, now we're talking about.
By the way, if McGee is listening, Terminator sucks. Not Terminator, Transformers. All of them sucks. And you are going to ruin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they're not aliens. You're an idiot.
They're not. See, I kind of at first when I heard that I was like, aliens. There was an alien link somewhere, but that was obviously like Krang in the cartoons. He was an alien. But I don't think even the goo that transformed the turtles was alien. I think it was
toxic waste.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a completely different subject, probably for a completely different video. But we were talking in general about, was it a dangerous decision overall for BioWare to do this? And I mean this from a developer's perspective and, say, an industry perspective, because how is this going to happen with every game now when something's wrong? Are people going to expect it to be completely changed?
It's a terrible, terrible precedent that's been set. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, the dangerous part is that BioWare kind of gave in, like.
Yeah, to
peer pressure, basically.
As much as I've, you know, people may even call me a BioWare fanboy. I've loved the Mass Effect series of games. I'm so deep in the lore of Mass Effect. I've read all the books apart from the latest one, which I will read at some point. I want to make my own point of view as to whether or not it's shit. But it's the story. You can't, you're not going to phone up if he was still alive Tolkien and say, sorry, didn't like the end of Lord of the Rings. Can you change it? Because I'm an asshole.
One way to put it. It just seems totally silly, man. And
I mean, it's like loads of people complain about the last Indiana Jones movie. I don't remember anyone trying to sue the publishers and sue the writers to get it changed.
It's just ridiculous.
Everyone just said it was a bit of shit.
It's ridiculous. But then the other point of view I want to bring up, where I'm saying that I feel like it could be a dangerous move altogether, was now BioWare have kind of done this.
Yeah, caved into the pressure.
Yeah. Are developers going to take less care in their storylines, less care in their games in general, because they kind of might think, well, BioWare did it, maybe if our story sucks, maybe we're pressed for time and we need to rush a game out.
We'll leave the ending up to the community.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking brilliant. We're all going to have soppy endings.
We'll just hash out an ending, and then if people don't like it, we'll just patch a new one in at a later date. Like,
it's not every single story has to have a happy ending. Not every single story has to end the way you expect it to. That's the whole point about stories. They are stories, they're not real, and the ending is as important as the beginning and the middle.
And that's the thing, man.
It's the artists, and let's face it, that there are so many people trying to get people to believe that video games are an art form. There's an exhibition in the Smithsonian, for fuck's sake, the fucking Smithsonian, showing video games throughout the ages and showing them as art. And we're trying to get people to agree that video games are art. And now we're trying to change the end of what is basically the best fucking trilogy of games ever. I'm sorry,
And just because it's the, like you were saying, it's about the beginning, the middle and the end, obviously. I mean, just because the end of the story might not be to your liking, or might be bad, to use that term, it doesn't mean that the story is bad, or it doesn't mean that the game is bad. How many hours of enjoyment have you had right before that end? And I know it's a big thing because it's the end of the whole Shepard saga. But and I haven't got there yet, so I know I can't comment on just how bad it is. But no matter how bad it is, I mean, I've played some pretty bad games in my time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we all have. But the fact is, BioWare have already said that it's not the end of Shepard. It's not the last you're going to see of him. There's plenty more that can be done. This is just the end of. This is how it ends. There's other stuff that can go on before. There could be prequels. There could be offshoots of games that involve Shepard that aren't to do with him being a Spectre or whatever. There's so much in the Mass Effect universe that is still to see the light of day as a video game. There's a huge amount in the books, obviously, but it's not the end. There are already plans for the next Mass Effect game. It may not it probably doesn't include Shepard, but it's a huge, rich universe. There's so much they can draw from it, and this is just one tiny little chapter. I like the fact that people are up in arms about it and the fact that they're complaining about it, but I just think the fact that BioWare have caved in is a huge, huge mistake. It's kind of like those choose-your-own story novels you used to get when you were a kid.
Fan fiction.
Yeah, but you'd get those novels where it's like, okay, you choose this, and you go to page 16, and then you go to the next book and you read it, and you get another choice at the end. And there was never a bit in those books where it was like, okay, you've got to here's some blank pages, write your own fucking ending.
And never an address in the back to complain to if you would like them to republish the book in a new form. I don't know, man. I just think it's a very, like I say, dangerous thing for the whole industry and for all developers, and perhaps even for consumers at the end of the day.
Well, where's it
Because
stop?
the more this, I mean, what are we going to miss out on? I know people complaining about Mass Effect 3 and DLC and people trying to milk money from people and all that junk that we've spoken about in previous videos. Check the YouTube page for that. But
I've got to say, not entirely sure that Day 1 DLC is worth the $10.
perhaps not. But besides that, what DLC are we going to miss out on now because they're reworking the ending? Like what
Exactly.
What else could BioWare be doing? Like,
I mean,
there's so
I'm
many
really
negative
surprised.
effects of this happening.
Yeah.
It's maybe if you didn't like the ending and it's getting changed for you, perhaps that's a massive win. But overall, in the long term, I really don't think it's a good thing to be happening at all.
I hope that when they release the ending, the new ending 2.0, I hope they charge for it.
Yeah, I hope they charge for it, and I hope they make it completely crazy and completely out of touch with the whole rest of the Mass Effect series, just so it seems ridiculous.
Yeah, he suddenly turns into Kirby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something stupid like that. Yeah, I hope that's what happens.
But you know what? I
Or he
love the
starts
series
using
so much, I'll
Pokemon
probably
to take
buy
on-
it just to give them the money.
Oh, I would too, just for that sense of ridicule other people. But anyway, man, we don't want this to keep going on too long. So is there a final point you'd like to wrap up on? Because it's going on YouTube, and we like to keep them as short as possible.
Yeah, it's ended the way it's ended. You don't complain about the Mona Lisa because you're not too sure about her smile. You take the art form or the end product for what it is. The end is the end, like it or lump it.
Fair point, man. And I don't think I could have said it better myself. So thanks everyone for watching. Cheers for joining me at this time in the morning, Dan.
That's a pleasure.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/IronhammersTV, for more random gaming videos. Follow us on Twitter, they're down there as Dan's pointing out. And hopefully some more gaming related videos coming soon, whether it's us ranting or gameplay or all kinds of stuff. So just hit subscribe, do it. And check us out at ironhammers.org. Catch you later, guys. Bye bye.
Catch you later.